Check 1, 2.
Good morning, my very sweet friends. I hope you're doing well. I'm back home, and I shouldn't speak with my mouth full. I have come back home this week because I haven't been here since Christmas, and I used to come back much more frequently than this, but since I've had my weekend job, I haven't really had the time, and now's the time. Ooh! Ooh! Whenever I'm home, I feel like everything just slows a little bit. It just doesn't make much sense. I don't do that much when I'm in London, but I just feel like being in the countryside, it's just, everything's a bit slow. I thought I'd bring you along. Today, me and my mum are going in to one of the towns near us, and we're gonna go do some thrifting, gonna go get some lunch, gonna just have, hopefully, a very nice day. I have also had a coffee already today, and they've got this fancy coffee machine. So that's exciting, because it's much better than my one at home. And therefore, since I have now, I went on a coffee course last week, 2 weeks ago. Since I've gone on this coffee course, I would consider myself quite beginner, probably still. Take the man out of... I feel like social media is rotting my brain. Hello. Okay, so I'm getting ready. A bit hot actually, a bit warm. And hopefully you can see me because I can't actually see my reflection right now. I keep going back and forth whether or not I want to, like, because you know me. My eyebrows are always a bit of like I don't want to say statement, but they're like the one part of my face that I feel like I can proper change around. They keep going back and forth between like keeping them like as they are or bush. They are kind of slowly forming the mono again, which I'm kind of digging. Or I go full the other way and like go real thin, like I used to have them when I was like 15. Now, before you tell me not to do that, my eyebrows grow so quickly. So much to my dismay growing up as a child, I've never had a natural thin brow. I remember one time when I was little, I won't say when I was little, I was probably, I mean, I would have been probably like 15 to be honest. I didn't like talking about my eyebrows. Ooh! And therefore, if I ever like plucked them or waxed them or whatever, I would do it like so in secret, and I had no idea what I was doing. I don't have any of my like anything, so you're gonna watch me do this all with my hands. And I remember once I waxed the middle of my eyebrow and I got this massive burn, like right here, which is way worse than having a few hairs. It's like I ripped open my skin. I didn't even think it was a burn, it was more like a cut. And I have so many like scars underneath my eyebrows from where I was like 12 trying to pluck my eyebrows and ripped off all the skin. What are you gonna do? It happens. Okay, oh, these are the cutest little heart earrings. I got sent them from Hey Harper, which is actually where I get all of them. Well, I got gifted all of my jewelry from. Literally the most basic of makeup looks you will ever see, but I'm done. I almost forgot to brush my teeth, which we're not about to do today. I'm coming home and I've got a electric toothbrush. I always just worry that like gonna start going off in my toothpaste. How do you explain that?
Check 1, 2. Here we go.
I'm done with you. I'm done with this. Done with your two. And yes, that's attitude. Neither of us seem to lie.
Hello. It's actually not as late as it seems. I'm giving like 8 p.m, 9 p.m. energy, when in reality it's like 5:30. I'm home. Mum and I did a very small amount of thrifting. I will say it was slightly unsuccessful given that we went in probably like well over 10, 12 charity shops. I got this top, which is brown. You wouldn't be able to tell. I got this hat. And then I also got these little burgundy, these brogues. I actually don't know if these are brogues. And that was it, but that's just kind of the reality of charity shopping. Sometimes you get super lucky and sometimes not. So then we went for a nice big old lunch. And yeah, I've just been wallowing, not even wallowing, I've just been laying ever since, playing Stardew and watching Bones on my iPad in bed, but the sun is setting and I do need to have dinner soon. Oh, I've also been, anytime I come home, my stepdad is just the nicest and he gets me some form of something that I will enjoy. So he picked me up some of this Galaxy vegan chocolate, which I actually don't think I've had before. I will say it is really delicious, but it doesn't taste like Galaxy. But yeah, so I've been eating some chocolate, having a cuppa, playing on Stardew, and just having a very relaxing few hours because I needed it. I'm acting like going thrifting was like a hardship of my day. But no, I feel like I've needed like the whole of today, because as I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, I feel like life in London is super like go, 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 even if it's not. I feel like I'm just going like a million miles an hour. I never want to come across like I am complaining about what I do, because I'm very lucky to be, I don't know why I'm putting these back on, but it feels like I'm very lucky to be able to do what I do. The caveat of that is that I feel like a lot of the time when I'm like doing things, there is a pressure to like create content around it. I feel like maybe that's a pressure that goes beyond influencing these days, because we consume and put out so much content all the time, everyone, regardless of influencing status. It can be quite overwhelming, and finding that balance between creating for content and creating just create, if that makes sense. Now I'm acting like creating content takes away from what I'm doing, but like if I'm making like a video, for example, with Katie at home and we're making Lego flowers, me setting up the camera in the corner doesn't make too much difference. YouTube, for example, doesn't make too much difference because it's something where I feel like I can actually talk to you. I think for me, when I'm now trying to be more creative, not in terms of social media, but just like in general, picking up new creative hobbies and just trying out different things. Basically, I'm trying to create for the sake of creating rather than it to be good or to create content from it, basically, which is a hard mentality to get out of, because I've either always been a perfectionist or I've been putting my life online for the past 6-ish years. Those two things kind of come quite second nature. But I think when you're only doing things for them to come across as a certain way, that really is not going to do wonders for your mental health. So when I'm trying to create things, for example, making things with clay or cutting and sticking shapes, like I'm trying to encourage myself, as much as I like to make things that are cute and that are nice and that are good, I also want to do things just because. This past week has been wild. I feel like I've really experienced that low of like PMS this week, and it's not even a sense of like feeling down, it's just been a sense of like feeling irritated as heck, and just like I feel like I've been comparing myself left, right and centre, and just not having any very like, I've just been wild with it. Anyway, so last week I was feeling in like this absolute rut, and I didn't have any of my normal like supplies because I was cat sitting, and so I went into town and I bought a newspaper, a cutting tool, and a cutting mat and a little notebook, and I literally just like cut and stick for like 3-4 hours. And I feel like it was hard. This is silly because you would think that cutting and sticking, and like collaging, I should probably call it, is like probably, you would think, the most easiest thing to do, because there's not really like a way to do it. The same with a lot of creative things. But my head is so, I got halfway through basically and I was like, this is looking awful, I need to stop and start again, because I've just kind of got myself into that mentality of not being able to enjoy something if it's not creating something that I think is like visually or like mentally appealing. I don't know, and obviously when you're creating art or when you're just doing random stuff, you do want it to be visually appealing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like for me, I feel like this silly activity of me just like cutting and sticking random things together really like pushed me to like just kind of do things, and just if it looked crap, it looked crap. I could just turn over the page and never see it again. But it was just like literally a few hours for me to step away from my phone and step out of that like comparison cycle. It doesn't actually matter what I'm creating, it's just about the act of creating, I guess, because I don't know if anyone's like me, but I am that type of person that if I buy a notebook or I buy a journal or I buy a scrapbook, if I mess something up, that's that done. Or the more likely option actually is I don't start, because I worry that there's no plan. You know, I worry that everything in that journal needs to be cohesive, it needs to be the same. I think that just takes away like why it's important to be creative if you want to be creative. I don't know, I feel like I want to go back to when I was like 5, 6, 7, 10, where you would just like draw for the sake of drawing. At the end of it, you would be like, oh, this is great, or I made this for you, Dad. And it's like the most hideous drawing ever, but your dad puts it on the fridge and it stays there for 10 years. I want to go back to that. Does that make any freaking sense? Honestly, me after I say anything, because it's hell in there. It's really hell in there. I've also been so tired. I think it's because I've been waking up earlier. Like, when I say earlier, I mean the time of the average person with a 9 to 5. But because now that I'm working the coffee shop, I wake up earlier. But like, it means that by like 9 p.m, 10 p.m, I'm practically asleep. I've really only got like 3 hours left of my day. So I do need to make dinner, and I feel like I need to hydrate. I feel like we should go do that now. I retreated back with some more of that smoothie I had this morning, but I do feel like this vlog so far has been very lacking in pet content, so I do want to say that they are all around me. We've got Nelly here. Hi, Shamu. Okay, she's giving me the silent treatment a little bit here, and then Heston is there guarding the door. So I've got Heston guarding the door, and I've got Nelly guarding the window. Anyway, time to get Stardew back. Now this is what we Brits call a picky tea. Basically just anything you would give a 5-year-old. And pickle.
Touching my skin, got us both wanting more. Breath on my neck,